Hi everyone! If you're watching this, it's probably because you want to know how to build one of the most efficient mana generation setups in Botania. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through creating a Shulk Me Not Mana farm. The setup is simple, compact, and incredibly powerful. Let's dive right in. First, here's what you're going to need for this build. I'll show it on screen, so feel free to pause here if you need to. You will need 1 recessive spark augment, 1 dominant spark augment, 51 buttons, 8 mana pools, 8 floating Shulk Me Nots, 1 floating hazy dream, 7 purple dye, 13 gaia mana spreaders, 13 potency velocity lens, 7 sparks, 1 shulker spawner, 1 life imbuer, 8 to 9 cobblestone, 1 wand of the forest, a stack of building blocks of your choice, I prefer moss, and 1 mana tablet. First up, you'll need to place the spawner quite far up. I would recommend going 20 to 30 blocks up in the air. Around the block, you're going to place 8 gaia mana spreaders. Other mana spreaders work just fine, but I prefer the gaia ones for this. I wouldn't recommend doing this as your first mana setup, but second or third would be good. I would recommend having some form of flight or fall damage protection. Right now I'm currently using the Flugel Tiara with the Eye of Flugel and a mana mirror. Each one of these gaia mana spreaders needs to be equipped with a potency velocity lens. Above them, you're going to want to put your 8 floating Shulk Me Not flowers. Okay. And then 1 block below the center, you're going to want to place one of your mana pools with a spark, dyed purple, recessive spark augment. So dye it purple. Okay, and above that, you're going to place your floating hazy dream. Floating Shulk Me Nots will generate mana when a shulker dies nearby, and the floating hazy dream will make sure the shulkers attack each other. 2 blocks out from the Shulk Me Nots, you're going to want to start placing your cobblestone with 3 blocks of space in between, like so. When you're done, it should look something like this. Now you're going to want to cover every side of each of these cobblestones except the top. That way the shulkers cannot attach to any surface except the top of the cobblestone block, keeping them in a more organized area and also making sure that they are at the right level to attack each other. Anything else that can support a shulker where they'll rest or teleport to should also be covered in buttons. So like the bottoms of mana pools, the sides of the shulker spawner, and anything else you're going to want to cover. I would recommend. So basically anywhere else you notice that your shulkers are connecting to, you're going to want to cover in buttons, except for the tops of these cobblestone blocks. A few blocks below and to the side of cobblestone bricks, you're going to want to place a T shape of mana pools. These are going to be where you store your mana to power the hazy dream and anything else you want to power. Add sparks to each pool. Gaia mana spreaders go on the ends, like so. Each of these mana spreaders gets its own potency velocity lens, which you're going to aim above when you place the pool that will power the life imbuer. This pool will be aimed below at the life imbuer, which will be right here. Don't forget to dye these sparks purple as well. Now we're going to connect our spreaders to our pool above by shift-clicking them with the wand of the forest. There we go. Dyeing the sparks purple allows the sparks that are dyed purple to be the only ones that connect to each other. So the mana that is created by the Shulk Me Nots will go to the pool below, like so. This pool will fill, attaching itself to these pools over here. Make sure that you place buttons on these pools on the bottom, as well as the main one, and this one above. Finally, place your shulker spawner down, hover it in buttons, place your life imbuer on top. Ensure that this mana spreader connects to the life imbuer, like so. And then you're going to turn your hazy dream on by placing a full mana tablet into. Now that your setup has been started with a little bit of mana, it should work just fine. As soon as the shulkers begin to spawn, they will hit each other, explode, and produce mana, which should be flowing to the pools below. Place your final mana pool about 12 to 14 blocks away from the T-shaped setup. I always go below, like so. On this pool, you're going to want to place a dominant spark dyeing it purple. This is the setup you're going to want to use with your mana mirror or any other tool that requires mana, and you can honestly add more pools with more purple dominant sparks around it, making sure everything is connected properly. You can see if your hazy dream has mana by holding your wand over top of it. You can see where the mana is flowing through your setup. So all of these mana spreaders are connecting to this pool. This pool is connecting to the life imbuer, which will power your shulker spawner to turn it on. As the shulkers start dying, they will fill this mana pool, which goes to the T-shaped setup over here. So you can see, and this pool below will fill automatically. If you want this to go faster, you can get a couple more shulker spawn ups and then just duplicate this setup that's inside the cobblestone in the corners surrounding the main T-shaped pool setup. This setup is not only efficient, but also works passively if you have the life imbuer powered. If you found this tutorial helpful, let me know how it works in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Botania tips and tutorials, or tips and tutorials for Prominence too. Thanks for watching.